Welcome everyone to Not That Media. My name is John, and in today's video I continue my series of videos relating to Monopoly Event's upcoming convention For the Love of Horror. With over 30 guests in attendance at the time of recording, it's very easy for people to assume that everyone knows everyone who's going. So what I wanted to do was spend a little bit of time on each of the actors that I'm intending to meet and give you my recommendations to give you arguably the best of their work. So come along with me as I talk about two people this time, Sandin and Chris Durand. If you're following this series of videos, you may notice that normally I spend time with one actor per video. Reason being is they are in a multitude of different films and there's quite a lot to recommend. There is no issue or no negativity in anything I'm about to say, but Sandin does not fall into this category. He actually only has realistically one credited appearance to his name. It is a fantastic appearance, but it is only one appearance. He is synonymous and recognised as the child Michael Myers in Halloween from 1978, the John Carpenter classic. After the POV scene in the opening where Judith Myers is murdered, Michael, from a POV perspective, goes outside to be greeted by his parents, who, when they pull off the mask, it cuts to Michael standing looking towards the camera, holding a bloody knife. Will plays this character, and he plays it very well. I always feel that the moment the mask comes off and the boy is almost frozen in time, despite the fact the camera moves backwards and the world has not frozen, it's very chilling, it's very frightening. It's a nice surprise, I think, particularly if you're new to the Halloween franchise and you're expecting adult Michael Myers to make an appearance. The fact that we witness this scene of horror and it is portrayed by a child, and then you see this boy's face and it is blank and emotionless, all the stuff that Dr. Loomis would talk about later in the film, it's a chilling moment and a fantastic opener and a really cool thing that Will is synonymous with. Technically speaking though, this was not the only time that Will actually played young Michael Myers. Now, a couple of years later, when Halloween 2 was in production, Halloween 1's movie rights was being sold for TV syndication. The problem with Halloween was it was too short, believe it or not. Films have to be a certain length in order to allow for advertisement and commercials to be in the right order and running length. So effectively, John Carpenter was tasked with the task of shooting additional material, writing and directing additional material to composite into Halloween in order to extend its runtime and to meet the television criteria. This was a very cool idea at the time. I don't think it was something that was particularly well known, but it allowed Carpenter to build in, because he couldn't damage the continuity of the movie had to remain intact, but he could build in additional clues and Easter eggs which would then pay off in Halloween 2. This is where a lot of the controversy about people assuming that Laurie and Michael were always brother and sister comes from, is the Halloween 1 TV cut, but that's a story for another day. After Will's appearance as young Michael, rather than cut to 1978 with Loomis in the car, we instead cut to a specified time later, and Loomis is presenting to the Smith's Grove board that Michael should be placed under the maximum observation, maximum drugs, all the stuff that we know later he was saying. The board dismiss him, that Michael Myers, young Michael, is a catatonic. He is not a threat to anybody, and frankly Dr. Loomis is wrong. So a frustrated Dr. Loomis leaves the boardroom, returns to Michael's room to find the catatonic Michael sitting, staring out of the window, staring past the wall, staring to 1978, as he would say later, and he simply looks at Michael and smiles and says, "You've fooled them, haven't you, Michael? But not me." So it was really cool to see that Will participated in the TV cut of Halloween and expanded a little bit more on what would become so synonymous with Loomis's character. I really feel that and I'm not saying in any way the guys who play Michael Myers got an easier gig, but I think, as I said a moment ago, Will, for me, really pays off that blank, pale, emotionless face, that you can believe that if this kid sat like this for 15 years, Loomis, it makes sense what Loomis is saying in 1978, so all props to Will. He did appear He is not one, as far as I'm aware, to appear in many documentaries and many DVDs and commentaries and things like that. I own a multitude of the original Halloween on all platforms, VHS through to 4K, and his presence is one that you don't normally see. The only exception to this is he did appear on Halloween: The Inside Story, which was a documentary movie made by Bio. So he does appear on that, which is a very rare appearance. As far as I'm aware, and certainly for the UK, because I believe he's a first-time UK guest, he is not a convention regular, so his appearance, his participation is a real coup for the love of horror, who are very good, as I said in my introduction video, in finding these cult iconic actors and bringing them in for people like me to meet. I love Halloween. It is my favourite franchise. I have met a number of Michael Myers, 6 at the time of recording, another one coming, so for him to be the 8th Michael Myers to meet, and particularly a very iconic Michael, I can't wait to meet Will Sandin. Now, Chris Durand, who I want to talk about now, is an actor that people may not necessarily instantly recognise or may not even be able to name many of his films. He is predominantly a stunt performer, so he has worked in a multitude of different films, but his real claim to fame is Halloween H2O. He also follows up that claim for fame in the world of horror by being able to have the badge of playing not only Michael in Halloween H2O, but also Ghostface in Scream 2. He actually plays 2 different characters in Scream 2. He is stunt performing for Ghostface, and he plays one of the moviegoers. I believe he's one of the moviegoers in the urinal scene. He is one of the 2 people who look back. So he has that privilege, fame, to be both Michael and Ghostface. Now, other actors out there, Douglas Tate, can make claims to be being Michael and Jason in a stunt performing capacity. I met him last year, and he was a really cool guy. And Kane Hodder, of course, makes the claim that he has played both Freddy and Jason. But Chris has got the honour of being, as far as I know, the only guy to be both Michael and Ghostface. I think today in 2024, Halloween H2O's impact and success and popularity has somewhat been diluted as a result of not only its own sequel, Halloween Resurrection, but also the subsequent remakes and reboot of the franchise. I think Halloween H2O is a strong film. I think that Michael Myers, Chris's Michael Myers, really does follow the blueprint of the original movie, in that Michael is a little bit more of a spectre, a little bit more of a stalker than he is a slasher. I think his performance is very creepy. It's a very slow Michael. It's a very methodical Michael. He takes his time with his kills. Once he has someone snared in the trap, he doesn't rush in and cause trouble. I think I'm trying to stay spoiler free, but from a suspense perspective, this Michael, because he's always in the background, it's like a coiled cat. You're just waiting for him to pounce and attack his prey. There's a scene where a boy knocks a bottle opener into the waste garbage unit, which is a terrifying thought even before you even add Michael or Halloween to the situation. He sticks his hand right down there. Of course, he's got nothing to worry about, and then Michael appears in the doorway behind him, and it is like a ticking clock of suspense. It is really well done. The showdown between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode is a really good one. There is some debate, obviously, again in hindsight with Halloween 2018, etc., which fight was the better one, but I think Chris Durand's stunt performing comes out really well. The moment where he comes down from the rafters behind Laurie is a fantastically iconic moment, really cool. It defies all logic and gravity, but no one cares when you watch it. It's just a really cool moment. I found, because I saw Halloween H2O very early on in my life, 12 I think I was at the time, maybe 13, but he was the first new Michael Myers I got to see. I had seen Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. I wasn't aware there was a 4, 5 and 6 at that point in time, but that's a story for another day. So when Halloween H2O came along, this was my Michael for my generation, and I found him very creepy. The scene where Josh Hartnett is trapped behind the gate and Michael is reaching through, slashing away, is absolutely terrifying. And again, that fantastic suspense where Michael realizes the keys to the gate are literally at his feet and he picks them up and starts trying to open the door is terrifying. Chris Durand had massive shoes to fill. After Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, Michael Myers was such a presence. To step into that role, not just in another Halloween sequel, but in the 20th anniversary Halloween movie, the one where Jamie Lee Curtis was coming back, was such a big deal, and I think he did it really well. So of all the Michael Myers of that period of time, he's up there for me. He's top. He only got the one chance. He was only Michael for H2O. He didn't get the James Jude Courtney treatment or the Tyler Mane treatment where he could play Michael over a number of films, but I think he made his impact. If you've not seen Halloween H2O and you like Scream, definite recommend. So I think that's going to do it. This is a relatively short video, but to be perfectly honest, I haven't got a tremendous amount to say. Will Sandin and Chris Durand are two fixtures of the Halloween universe and deserve their spot. They earned their spot, and I'm really excited to meet them. The recommendations are so simple for this one: Halloween 1978 and Halloween H2O. There's a double bill for you there. If you stick Halloween 2 in between, you get the full original Laurie Strode experience, if you discount obviously Halloween Resurrection. But if you watch 1, 2 and 7, that is a full movie trilogy, and strong recommend. So with that being said, until next time, stay scared.
You fooled them, haven't you, Mike? Not me.